Hey guys, today this is going to be a video that can help assist you in how to teach a wide range of gymnastic skills. This could be gymnastic skills that you can use with a wide range of equipment, but you can also teach these gymnastic skills as well with limited amount of equipment. Also incorporated with these skills are going to be warm-up activities and activities you can do to incorporate and develop a student's competency in being able to do these skills. The skills I'm going to be teaching is a step kick on the beam. I'm also going to be showing this on the ground if you don't have access to a beam, and I'll be teaching how to do a forward roll and as well as a cartwheel. Now, before teaching the first skill, it's important to start with a warm-up within performing the skill of a beam step kicks. It is good that the students warm up their legs in order to produce strength, flexibility and balance to be able to perform the skill to the best of their abilities. This can be seen through these photos, some warm-up exercises and movements, such as holding a plank, a V-sit, and even some simple leg kicks, both back and forth, before they step on the beam to do their step kicks. Now, to perform different types of movement exercises and focus on warming up in a fun way, the students can play the game Twister. This is a great game as not only do the kids get to have fun and interact with different peers and as well work as a team, but they get to practice different types of movements and skills while as well working on increasing their core stability and balance. For example, having to move your body in unique different ways. Now moving on to the actual skill. For students who are beginners or are feeling a bit nervous, we can get them by started walking on the ground on a straight line of colour tape. We do this in order to be able to maintain straight as possible. Now here are the images of how we probably position ourselves when we start on the beam or tape. We need to make sure we have our feet together and not having our feet out like in this other photo, because this is important as it will help the students maintain their balance and stability. Now here in these photos we can see our starting position with our hands behind our sides and we're looking straight and our posture's good. Once we're in our starting position, we can see in step 2 our foot moves forward, and then in step 3 how we kick our foot up. While we're doing this, we want to tell the students to try and maintain focusing on something in front of them and spotting something that isn't moving. We want them to spot something that isn't moving in order to main focus and maintain their alignment. We want to make sure we're keeping on the tape to the best of our abilities to get ready to progress further on. If you feel comfortable or we have access to a beam, we can start practicing this skill from higher ground. This is an example of me starting on a little beam of doing the step kick. And there's also mats around me for safety. And I'm also focusing on something in front of me to try and keep my alignment. And here we can see a fun cool down game after the beam step kicks. This game, all you need is a ball. You don't have to have a beam. You could just have a line on the floor, and then the two participants stand on top of their foot if it's on the floor. But if it's on a beam, you can just stand up on one foot, and this will help with their balance and alignment. Passing the ball to each other, and if you fumble or drop the ball, you move forward again. Now moving on to our forward roll, firstly we need to have safety considerations for the students. First one can be their head tucked into the chest their whole time to decrease the risk of injury. They must be confident as well of a bunny hop and a tuck roll to ensure it's done safely, the forward roll, and bending elbows the whole time support the body when assisting in the tuck and roll of the forward roll. A great warm-up game includes Simon Says, where the students have to perform different movements. 2 of these main movements included in this game are going to be a tuck and roll and a bunny hop. These movements are utilised majorly because they are skills used in a forward roll. Like the game Simon Says, the person that is last to do the action wrong or the people who do the movement wrong normally are out. But in a PE lesson, this would not happen, and instead the students can do, for example, a mini obstacle course, such as hopping through hula hoops laid out on the ground, and once the student has jumped through the hoops, they can get back into the game. Some different gymnastics movements that can be used also in the game Simon Says are within this photo. Gymnastic movements such as back support and front support will help develop the student's strength. Now getting into doing the forward roll, you want to make sure that students are on a soft ground with safety considerations such as yoga mats or have access to a wedge mat, as they provide extra support for these students. Now here's an example of how to do a bunny hop within doing a forward roll. So I put my hands up against my ears and then put hands down and legs kick up into the air. Now here is also an example of a tuck and roll. Now another very important safety tip is we need to make sure that our head is tucked into our chest the whole time. We do this to minimize head injury while doing our forward roll. So now we want to have our chin to our chest, head tucked in, legs tucked in as well, and we push over our body like a bunny hop. This produces the forward roll while we're maintaining a tuck shape. Then we stand ourselves back up and with our feet and our legs bent out as well as our arms. And here's just a photo demonstration of how to do the forward roll if you want to look at it by step by step. Now, before performing the skill of a cartwheel, there's safety considerations for the students. This is making sure there's plenty of space for students to perform the skill as their legs will be going over their heads. We don't want anyone kicking each other in the face. Heads must never leave the ground. If hands leave the ground, the head can hit the floor, and then this will be very dangerous. And we must have adequate space so students don't have to go one at a time, because students may feel nervous, for various reasons. This can be their peers watching them and so on. A fun warm-up game that the students can partake in to warm up and use somewhat the motion of a cartwheel is the game Packman. Packman is a game that has taggers and runners. The game involves where you don't want to be tagged by the tagger, and the taggers or tagger has to try and get everyone out. However, in this game of Pac-Man, if the tagger tags you and you are out, you don't sit down. Instead, in this version, if a runner comes up to you and you got tipped, you could be saved by the runner side bunny hopping over you. Now, before starting to do a cartwheel, a student should successfully know how to do a side bunny hop. So this is the example of a side bunny hop of what you have to do. People often think now with a cartwheel we start standing to the side. This is wrong. We actually want to start facing forward with our most comfortable foot out in front. Once we have our most comfortable foot out in front and forward, we want to start lunging and have our hands above our head. We then want to put our arms out straight against our ears and bend our front knee out to a lunge. And when we go down, we want to make sure the same side hand where the lunge knee is out first, it's down first. This is then followed by the other hand. From here on out, we want to make sure we have both hands on the floor, as what's known normally as a bunny hop, but instead of doing the bunny hop with our knees tucking our feet together, we want to lift them up into a star shape. Now here is an example, if we look closely, of when I do my cartwheel, of me extending my legs out like into a star position. So here I'm going down, and then we see the star position. If a student needs further assistance of where to place their hands when doing the cartwheel, you can use a prop or something that will allow them to place one hand after another. Like for example, in this video here is what a coach used to show a little girl how to do a cartwheel with hands and feet. And as PE teachers, what we can do is we can print off hands and feet, making the front foot that is forward as the lunge blue, and then the first hand there blue as well, so that students have a guide to follow. Lastly here, we can see a photo step by step where we go from lunging forward to first hand down. Remembering our first hand down is the same hand of the foot we are lunging off. Then we can see in step 3 that both our hands are on the floor with feet followed within a star shaped position, and then our feet continuing over within the last photo. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this gymnastics video, and I hope it helps assist you within teaching gymnastics within the PE classroom.